Hey guys, here today with another Shirogorov knife. This one is on the UniHatiOn, which is based off of the HatiOn Zero design. Now, this is a collaboration with Chris Reeve Knives and their master engraver, Lisa, who does these unique graphics on many of their 21s and Sabenza 31s. Now, the collaboration is basically with Shirogorov on the 10 knives in each of the Alutex colors that Shirogorov uses on their Hatis, from dark blue, as you see here. We also have orange, purple, silver, yellow, a wide variety of colors. So this is one of 10 in the dark blue that are made available through lottery, through Recon One. And this knife is actually on loan from a friend who was able to graciously offer it to me for a knife notes video. This knife has seen quite a bit of use, so it won't be completely pristine. You'll see some scratches on the satin parts of the handle, but I thought it'd be a really nice opportunity to get one of these in for a knife notes video, since there are a large variety of them out there, and a lot of people have been asking questions about where this knife really sits in terms of the tiering system that Shirogorov has. So I wanted to go over that today in this video and kind of discuss with you some of the features of the knife, as well as my thoughts on it in general. So let's go ahead and take a look at the size of the knife. There really isn't too much to compare here, since the design is very heavily based on the neon size and is based on that HatiOn Zero, as I described earlier here. We can see that the size is exactly the same as what you'd expect on a production Neon Zero. But what about the weight here? This is a HatiOn, so it should be lighter, but it does have that titanium inlay on the show side. So if we take a look here at the weight, we can see that the weight of the knife is exactly 2.8 ounces. So still a very lightweight knife, but that is to be expected considering the size. Now, moving on to the blade here, you can see that the blade is S90V, and it has the custom division, more refined stonewash finish, as well as the satin blade flats. The blade is marked as such, being a custom division level blade. Very beautiful finishing here on the primary bevel. And of note, one thing that many people often miss is that the jimping on the custom division knives has been refined, and the marks that are created through the water jet cutting of the blade stock has been polished out. As you can see here, there are no remnants of that roughness of the cutting on the jimping. This is something that you really only notice when put up against a production knife, where you can actually see the remnants of the water cutting roughness on the jimping here. Now, moving on to the handles, you can see that we have that beautiful, unique graphic here on the inlay. The inlay itself is satin titanium, and then Lisa does her work doing the engravings, all freehand on a manual mill, by the way, and then the anodization that goes on top of that with a color that matches the Alutex of the handle. So this one here we see is in these really vivid blues with some hints of purple, depending on the angle that you look at the knife. And there's also this very interesting dot pattern that stems from the pivot area and branches off to these wave-like milling patterns here on the butt end of the handle. We also see here that we have the Chris Reeve logo, signifying that this inlay was finished by Chris Reeve over at Chris Reeve Knives. And taking a look at the show side, we can see here that the entire lock side is titanium with a dark blue Alutex inlay. This really mirrors the unique graphic Sabenzas, how the handles are done with the satin titanium finish. So I think that was the look that Shirogorov was going for in replicating that look and feel of the original Sabenza unique graphics. You can see here that the clip is also satin finished. Although we do have these stonewashed, very fine stonewashed parts right here on the lock bar relief cutout, and also on the sides of the clip and handle as well here. Of note, the backspacer, although it is tumbled, it is a much finer tumbling than what you see on the production Neon Zero, and therefore you get this more holographic, lighter color on the backspacer. Nothing too noticeable, but it was something that I was able to pick out there. The pivot system, it being a custom division level knife, we have the faux index pivot screw on the show side, which means that this is not a free spinning pivot. This makes disassembling the knife easier, as the pivot screw will not be rotating on you. Now, I think the last, and for a lot of people, important thing is that this knife does run on Mrbs. A lot of people were expecting this to be on rollers, as the knife that came before that, the UniHati, the knife series that came before this, did have roller bearings like the custom division knives. You know, you see the custom division logo and you expect that roller bearings will come alongside it. Now with the Hati, I think it made more sense that it had roller bearings, since the production Hati Rs have that Mrbs system with the steel washers. However, this being a 2D Neon, the Neon Zero is still a two-dimensional knife. They're not able to have the roller bearings in addition to the steel washers in a handle that thin. So even to this day, the newest, most premium version of the Neon Zero titanium model only has that 2-row Mrbs that the Neon Light from the previous generation had. So unfortunately, this knife does have Mrbs. It does not have rollers, which would be really nice to see, especially it having a custom division style blade and all these other embellishment and finishing on the handle. But it does make sense why they're not able to do that. What does this mean for the action? I think a lot of people, they get the smoothness of a custom division knife confused with the fact that, you know, they confuse that the rollers are causing that. In my experience, I would say that the smoothness of a custom division knife is actually more attributed to the satin flats, which this knife still has. The Mrbs system is actually faster, so people who are expecting that smooth drop shot action will actually be pleasantly surprised with the Mrbs setup alongside with the satin flats. With those production knives where you have a detent ball rolling across a stonewash flats, that's where you're going to get that grit. And this knife, having satin flats, doesn't really have that, but it also has that smooth drop shut, lightning fast drop shut action of the Mrbs. So depending on how you look at it, you might consider this the best of both worlds if you really like that drop shut action. Otherwise though, I think this knife is a little bit polarizing for many people, especially those who are more used to Sergey's more typical designs with the way that he does milling. I won't say typical, but his flavor of milling. These inlays are definitely something that I think are more popular on the Chris Reeve fan side of things, and for good reason. There's a lot of artistic value in these inlays, and they definitely are impressive. Personally, for me, there are a couple that are hit, and a couple that are a miss for me. So personally, my advice to any of you guys who are looking to acquire one of these is really look out for one that speaks to you, one that you absolutely love. Otherwise, if you do end up not liking it, or you're just not sure, it probably will be difficult to find somebody who does absolutely love it. So I think that's something important to consider. But if you do like the knife, I think the overall mechanics and the finishing of the knife are excellent. I'm sorry, if you like the inlay. If you like the inlay, I think the overall mechanics and finishing of the knife are excellent. It's a little bit regretful that there are no rollers in here, but the premium blade steel, the finishing on the blade alongside with the finishing on the handle, especially the satin finish on the backside, just looks absolutely amazing. And it should make for a really great user, as this knife is for my friend. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully looking forward to getting a UniHati, the full-size Hati R, the one based off of the Hati R here for a knife notes video. But yeah, I'm really glad to have gone one of these. I know there's a lot of them out there, but they're just a little bit hard to track down. I guess finding people who have one to loan for a video. Again, I hope you guys like this video, and see you guys next time.